How's it going, everyone? It's GadgetsBoy. Welcome to another car tech video. Next to me is the Polestar 1, and if you have a spare £139,000 to buy a new coupe, and you can actually get hold of one because there's only 1,500 of these sold globally, then this is actually a really fun car to have, a really fun car to own. It looks fantastic. Everywhere that I've driven it, everyone just gives us that look of what car is that? It looks fantastic. And this has 600 brake horsepower. That's a lot of power to have in a carbon fiber shell and just something like this in general. But we're going to go through it and talk about all the tech inside this car and outside as well, and let you know my experience. I've had it for about a week now, so I'll tell you all about that 1 week drive with the Polestar 1. Before we do that, make sure you subscribe, smash the like button and share it at the end as well if you like this video. And don't forget that bell notification, because that's the only way you get notified every time there's a new video up on the channel. Let's get on with it.
The Polestar 1 is not a new car. It's been around for a while, but it's a timeless car in both design and performance. It's a car you got to experience if you ever get a chance to, and that's not a bragging thing. It's because they don't make them anymore, and the small amount made is rarely listed for sale. Let's start with the design. In many ways, it looks like a Volvo, and on the inside, it feels like a Volvo too. And that's not a bad thing. But there's no way you can take the Polestar 1 without turning heads, and it's minimalist in many ways for a sports car. I mean, you don't get any of those big aero vents, and it's not everywhere, and you don't get those big front grille that shouts sports car. I think what I'm getting at is it's not an aggressive looking car, but it has an athletic stance that would still make you move out the way if you see one of these coming your way. It's more on the futuristic side when it comes to how it looks. Actually, it's one of the few cars that still looks like the concept version of what it's meant to be like. I love its slim profile headlights and tail lights as well. The wheels look sporty with the yellow brake calipers, frameless door frames, bezeless door mirrors. The way the door handles just pop out, and on the back the spoilers can be lifted at a touch of a button as well. What's very Polestar-like though is the boot, where you'll see the inner workings of the car, which is pretty cool. While we're here as well in the boot area, you notice that the Polestar 1 is not one for anyone who needs big space in terms of the boot space. Actually, inside of it as well is not that big. It's quite tiny. It's a true GT at heart. Of course, this is a hybrid car, so on the one side, you get a port where you get to charge it up very quickly. It supports fast charge. And on the other side is where you fill it up with petrol. On the inside, there's plenty of luxury. It has leather seats, carbon fiber with some leather overlay, clean stitching, and some silver metal mesh over the speakers. And right off the bat, you notice it doesn't have much space in the back at all. I'm not even sure why they've included any seating area at the back at all. I'd rather a bigger boot space instead of those seats on the back. The seat belts are color coordinated with the brake calipers. That's very Polestar-like, and they're also yellow. And you have a portrait infotainment display as you normally have in Volvo cars. The gear shifter is also quite snazzy. It's like a crystal glass, and it sure does stand out. The driver instrument cluster is digital, and you can have it display maps, and you can also view things like music playing, trip information, and adaptive cruise control information when activated. Generally, I think the Polestar has done a great job mixing luxury with functionality, and space aside, it kind of works. Some annoying bits though. In order to get in the back seat, you have to obviously move the front seats, but it takes forever to move the electronically controlled seats, and it's so low too, so long periods of driving can become quickly tiring for your knees. You get 2 USB ports under the armrests at the front, but none for the babies at the back, although it's close enough to extend the cables. You have a big panoramic roof that creates a sense of space in the car, and you also get that Polestar Polaris logo projecting on the front up by the roof as well. There's no doubt the Polestar 1 is a beautiful, sexy looking car that turns heads wherever it goes, but how does it actually drive? It doesn't sound like a typical touring car. It's not loud, but it will still leave you in the dust if you mess with it. When you're not driving fast on the motorway, I was getting around 70 miles on electric power alone in terms of range, which is pretty cool. Underneath that long front bonnet, there's a 2-litre 4-cylinder that's both turbocharged and supercharged, delivering 308 brake horsepower, driving that front wheels alone. And it's boosted by a 68 horsepower electric motor. While the rear wheels are driven by a pair of electric motors for torque vectoring, and adds a further 232 brake horsepower with 34 kilowatt hour battery pack. So you can get a total of 600 brake horsepower and 737 pound per foot in terms of torque. One thing that the Polestar 1 does intelligently for me is how it balances the car's performance when it comes to a hybrid mode. It accurately decides how to mix electricity and petrol power to deliver the sort of speed you'll expect from a £139,000 car. There's a mode shifter inside where you can go between hybrid and power mode if you're feeling a little bit adventurous. The Polestar 1 also lets you adjust its dampers by up to 22 clicks, and it's not something you do yourself. You'd have to get Polestar to adjust accordingly for you. Handling is surprisingly good for so much power going through the front wheels alone, thanks to its intelligent torque vectoring. As it's a left-hand drive only, the width of the car can be a bit tricky here in the UK, especially coming out of junctions and driving around countryside bends. But it handles it very well, and once you get used to it, it's just very good. The Polestar 1 is an interesting car, and I like what it stands for and what Polestar have done with it. It has some niggles here and there on the inside, especially when it comes to its practicality, and there's only 1,500 made, so trying to get hold of a Polestar 1 right now is going to be very, very tricky. It's not cheap either in comparison to, say, BMW M8, for example, but like I said, this is just more interesting to me. Look out for my video though on the new Polestar Precept 2, because that's going to be another head turner and a good performance car as well when it does go into production.
And that's it for the Polestar 1. It's time for this to go back to Polestar for the next journalist to drive it and stuff like that. But it's been so much fun having this car. I've had an amazing time with it. Loads of tech in there, safety equipment, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. There's a lot going on in there. But for that price, £139,000, I'm not sure. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Drop them there, let us know. And subscribe, share it as well, and hit the like button and ding that bell notification as always. And we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.